The chief function of color is to serve expression. This is an impromptu speech about color usage. Color usage falls from your personal color theory. Now, color theory is an inquiry into the nature of color, but you will have a personal usage of color, and I want you to observe your color usage. Don't be afraid to look at your art. If you don't look at your art, no one else will. And see how you've used color, how to improve. Look at color masters. Look at guys like Henri Matisse, Pierre Bonnard, Vincent van Gogh. Look at people who really, really treat color with respect. The purest minds love color. A draftsman is a philosopher, but a colorist is an epic poet. Now, I never start with a color order or a pre-selected palette. I find my way as I go. How does a concert pianist know which key to hit when and in what kind of emphasis? It's magnificent to watch a pianist, a really good pianist, and I always ask myself, how do they know what key to hit and when? And the answer is rote and muscle memory. So you know what each brand and what each stick, you know the texture of it, you know the hue of it, you know how it's going to look. And if you don't know, you're going to make you're going to pre-mark and then use it, or you're going to look for a surprise and just use it. But think of yourself as a concert pianist. You want to use the highest quality pastels. The hand that I look for with pastels is a medium soft with some grit, which tears into the paper. And generally speaking, you get a higher amount of pigmentation, so better intensity. I want you to project color in space as a dimensional color model rather than a flat disc with a turn screw in the middle. Project it in space dimensionally, because you have, for one thing, you have three properties. You have intensity, hue, and value. Already we have three dimensions. I've been asked how to get out ahead of your thinking, how to be more intuitive. One way is to sabotage your mind. So when you hear your mind say to do this or that, do the opposite, or just don't listen to it, or create a third way. I'm going to get a tattoo on this arm. It's by an old American painter from the 1920s, John F. Carlson. Trust your feelings entirely about color. For even if you arrive at no infallible theory of color, at least people will credit you with having had your own color sense. And he's an old timer. And yet he understood the brilliance of having your own color sense. By the way, I'm also going to have one on this arm, John F. Carlson, that said, I don't believe a painting ever failed for being too simple. I've been asked about triteness. If you have make a painting, you have all the primary and the secondary colors, then you're disappointed. There was an art student once who finished her quarter of painting, and she pinned up her paintings on the wall and realized that she had used the same palette in every painting. Well, as you grow, as you try new colors, you'll grow to like more colors, more combinations. I don't want you to rely on each color combination. I want you to think of something new every time. Fall in love with new colors. But the more you understand the interaction of colors, the more you'll be capable of adding more colors to your palette. What about triteness? If you have the three primaries and the three secondaries, take one away. Because instead of having the number 6, you'll now have the number 5. Now, 5 is an odd number. It's more dynamic. I'm not saying never use an even number. What I'm saying is 5 will be more natural, or 3 colors will be more natural. So you count objects in your painting, you count lines, you count values in a notan and in a thumbnail. I want you to also count your colors. Be more dynamic. Also, another thing to do is, so now you have 5 of the primary and secondary colors. Take one of those or 2 of those colors, and instead of a pure secondary, make it a tertiary. Now, tertiary colors are a mixture of a primary and a secondary, and I feel that they have more sophistication, and you'll see it when you try it on your painting. Now, the enemy of creativity is good sense. Don't follow the same patterns. Don't look to rules that you've read. Don't have the same palette every time. If you're simplifying a palette, oh, I'm going to make it warm and cool. Well, I'm sorry, but your hues have names. You just heard. If I had 6 children, I would want to know each child's name instead of saying, you warm and you cool. Get over there in the kitchen and clean up. Never ruin a good painting with the truth.